What's up, guys? Welcome back to Articulate, and those were just some fun little snippets of me sleep talking from back in like 2015. Back in the day, I got really into. I think I took like a psychology class or something that made me get really into it. But I started keeping a dream journal back then and like recording my sleep talk, because I think somebody also told me that I slept talk and like I wanted to know what I said. You know, I'm curious as to what I'm talking about. And hopefully it comes for Kyle or you. Anyways, so this is the first episode in a while where I've had time to do like actual research and look at stuff to talk about. And I went back and literally looked through every dreams I've had since 2015. And I haven't recorded every dream that I've had since 2015. I haven't remembered my dream every night since then either. You know, there was a lot of spaces here and there. And I don't do it that much anymore. I talk about it a little bit in the sode. But it's just kind of fun to see what you used to dream about, and like old names of people that you haven't thought about in forever that you used to dream about. So obviously you thought about them quite a bit. It was nice because it actually it helped me reach out to some people that I hadn't talked to in a while, which was cool. But yeah, I just wanted to share this for you. And Jake Denning came out for this episode to talk about dreams with me, because I invited him over because we played this game called Psychonauts together, which is all about exploring the minds of others. And we shared a dreamscape once, which we talk about a little bit in there. So I don't know, he's just a fun person to bounce ideas off of, and we've been friends for forever, and he's really cool guy. So I hope you enjoy this episode and watch as all your wildest dreams unfold. Alright, Denning, we are starting out. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty decent. How about you, Steven?
I'm alright, man. You know what? Getting a good amount of sleep. And you know what? That's a good segue into what we're going to talk about.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, have you been getting good sleep recently, Danny?
Anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours.
Anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, man. It's crazy. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, that's you? You doing 4 to 6? I was about to say, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, throughout college, like, you kind of get used to, like, getting 10 to 12 hours of sleep just because you have so much time. If you don't have all your classes scheduled early, go to bed at, like, midnight to 1, and then you don't wake up until, like, 10 or 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good, but it's also very bad because you're not awake during the prime hours of sunlight. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is I really like my sleep. And sleep is something like, so in Athens, what I didn't realize is, like, I told you I had a shitty year this last year at Athens, right?
Yes.
Something that really played into that. Thank you. Something that really played into that is I had it was like maybe $100 mattress that I just bought with my own money just because I knew it was just for that year. But it's the worst mattress that I've ever slept on. And I had my memory foam mattress cover from the dorms, but it's a twin size one. So it doesn't fit on top of like the full size mattress that I had. So I'd pull it out every once in a while just to get a good night's sleep because the mattress was so ass, and I put it on top of it. But it really does like affect your mood when you don't get a good night's sleep.
That is so true.
Yeah, I don't know if you've experienced that at all.
No, it's weird. Like, if you get 3 hours of sleep,
mm-hmm.
you're in a good mood, but then you get like, maybe this is just with me, but then I'll get like 8 hours and I'm in a good mood. But if I get like 5 hours,
yeah,
like it sucks.
No, yeah,
anywhere from like 4 to 6 for me sucks.
Mm-hmm. I feel it, man. It's like especially, I mean, nights that you're drinking too. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a middle ground. You can drink and then wake up on somebody's couch with like minimal amount of sleep, and at least be like, okay, I can get. Maybe you're still drunk or whatever it is, but like get up and be like, all right, I feel good enough to get up.
Still
and
got
like
that weird energy that comes from.
Yeah,
I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably just riding the high from the night before. Honestly, if it was a good night, you know.
Yeah, probably.
Kind of coming down, but then or you're at your own house after a night of drinking, and you sleep in like 8 hours exactly, and you wake up and you're just like, that's right when the headache's kicking in and everything. Man. And you're just like, fuck. But also, so like on sober nights for me, there's nights where I would get more than like 10 hours of sleep, man. Like, I don't know if you've ever had too much sleep before, but it's the same type of headache.
Sure.
It's a very similar type of headache.
Yes.
You want to know something crazy?
What?
Scientists, right? Not all scientists. I mean, in general, we're not really sure why we sleep. Like, we know that it helps, like, rebuild our cells and everything, but if you don't get enough sleep, you'll die. Like, straight up. Isn't that crazy? Like,
yeah, I wonder what you exactly, like, die from.
You get sick. It's weird. Yeah. You get, like, a fever, and you start, like, coughing, and then you just, like, your body just gives out, and you just either pass out and go to sleep, or if for some reason you have to stay conscious, you just, like, die. That's the only reason you get sleep. Isn't that messed up?
Yeah, I mean, I know you hallucinate and...
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. You know, no, hallucinating. And...
Why does that make sense? Like, just because you're not getting enough sleep, what about your brain makes you start seeing shit if you're not getting, like, this weird thing where you just shut your eyes and do nothing for, like, 8 hours?
I don't know. I guess your brain just resets. See, dude, it is such a weird topic that, like, I have no expertise on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, you're here, like, so I did all the research for this episode, but I brought you on because, yeah, luckily.
Sleep a fuck ton?
No, and because we've talked about, I mean, we both have kind of an interest in, like, the human psyche a little bit, and, like,
for sure.
We also had the dreamscape, the similar dreamscape scenario, like the amusement park.
Man, that was ages ago. Yes, I remember that.
Ages ago, dude. But so separately, like before, I don't even know if it was before we were like good friends or not, but I've kept a dream journal since like 2015 or 16, and we started hanging out a lot around that time, kind of, and then got closer because of I mean, you know, reasons or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I think it was like 2 summers ago, maybe like 2018, where we both got into Psychonauts and like talking. I brought down my dream journal and everything, and I told you about it was an amusement park, right? That I'd had like 3 different dreams at. Like, I had one where I was on a roller coaster and the seat things just kind of came up and I started freaking out. But then there was another one that there was like a pendulum ride, and that's where you were like.
I had that same fucking dream. Yes.
The pendulum ride, the amusement park is just like...
And it wasn't like... it wasn't like Delirium at Kings Island.
Mm-mm.
It was like straight up
one of those down.
One of those old oil things. I don't even know what they did, but they look like a hammer.
Yeah. and you're on the top of it, and it just like... I don't even know, like swings you around or something. And it's scary because you're not like strapped in or anything.
No, yeah, and in the dream I was in extremely unsafe conditions in all the rides.
Oh yeah, all of them completely unsafe because they're dream scenarios. You don't need safety in a fucking dream.
I doubt you had this one in common, but I was on a Steve Irwin ride in one of my dreams, and there were live alligators, and there was a part where you rode on them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
That was some dream I had when I was a little kid.
But no, this weird.
Yeah, no, it's part of the same amusement park, and like the thing with our dreams was, at least mine. I don't know. I don't remember if yours was the same way, but they would build off of each dream. Like, I would have a dream about one roller coaster, and then I have another about another roller coaster, but they'd be in the same park. But you knew
it was in the same place.
They were in the same park, every time, and there'd be a recurring dream, but with a different scenario.
Like, it was a different dream. It was like
building a different world.
But it was a dreamscape, you know? That's what I'm saying. We shared a dreamscape, like randomly. I don't know. So that's weird to me. Especially, like, because it was before we even talked about the pendulum ride, it was just, like, an amusement park, and you would kind of... But then the pendulum ride was where I was like, all right, this is a little weird.
I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you fucking...
Yeah, well, that's what... I mean, that's the other thing about dreams is, like, they're not real memories, right? So they fade... They're, like, in your brain, they're much more fragile than any other connection that you make in your mind. So, like, you can have a dream... Well, that's the thing. You don't even remember. Everybody dreams, but most people forget their dreams, and... half of people forget them within the first like half hour. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You forget most of them because they're just so fragile of connections in your brain that they just like dissolve just like that, like they're nothing. You know?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was kind of worried when you told me this episode was going to be about dreams because I was like, damn, I haven't remembered my dreams for the past 6 months. I don't know what he's going to ask.
I mean, yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the dream journal I did religiously throughout high school. But in college, I kind of just, like, lost it, and I haven't really thought about it a lot since. You know, I'll have an occasional dream that'll be like, all right, I need to write that one down for sure.
Oh, so you still write it down?
But like I said, very rarely, like, probably I write down a dream. I want to get back into the habit of it now that I've kind of got a little more free time, and I'm,
sleeping a lot more.
Unemployed, and,
Unemployed.
Yeah, but I want to start writing it down. But, like, before this, since probably freshman year, I probably write down a dream once every like 3 months, maybe 3 or 4 months, just because like I said, I also feel like as you get older, your dreams just become more bland and like less about, you know, as your imagination dies as you get older, you know, how your fantasies your dreams kind of go to hell. I just feel like as you get older, it becomes more about like day-to-day life and like, you know, when you're a kid, you definitely think about things in a different light, and things are more heightened, and your imagination goes all over the place, and your creativity is just running rampant, right? But once you start getting used to the reality that we live in, you get used, you know, you come to expect a certain pattern every day, right? There's not many things that you're going to experience like tomorrow that are going to be unexpected, you know.
There's not many abstract thoughts. It's just
right.
What am I going to do today that's going to get me through the day and help me tomorrow?
Exactly. And as a kid, you believe in like Santa Claus. You believe in like even the video games that you play are like real to you.
Right. They still seem somewhat possible, and that's what kind of feeds your imagination.
Right. You're reading Percy Jackson. You're like, well, I could be a demigod, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, or like Harry Potter or whatever it is.
But now it's like, I mean, I remember when I started working straight out of high school, I would have dreams of like being on a job and fucking something up. Just like forgetting to bring a skid of matting or something to a job.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I do landscaping for the people at home.
For those people that...
For the people at home that want to know. You know.
If you need your lawn landscaped, contact Jake Denning. At JakeDenning.com.
At JakeDenning.com. But yeah, I would just be like, it started getting to be about like my actual life.
Right, your day-to-day life.
And, you know, I'd still have wacky-ass dreams here and there, but, you know, it's just been less and less. Less and less,
for sure. And there is a point in a lot of people's lives, like, people, their statistics say, well, you know, I'm just saying statistics, but I did do a little bit of research for this episode, which is unusual, but I listened to some podcasts, and I don't have any, like, actual, like, definitive sources, but they did research, you know, they sourced them while they were making the episodes and whatnot, and all the articles that I read. But it's like, there are some people that just stop dreaming after age, like, 20... It's like your late 20s that a lot of people just kind of just stop dreaming.
Man, that's scary.
It is. It is. I mean, because it's scary because like you're like, all right, what is happening in my brain that is not as active anymore or something, you know? Yeah. But also the other definition of dream, where it's like your idealization of where you want your life to turn out, you know, like what you want to do, your dream. You kind of dies when you're like 26, you know, the fact that...
Man, that's a depressing way to look at it.
Really depressing. And it's not necessarily that that's true, but it's like the thought and the connotation of dream and not having dreams after a certain age is kind of scary. I feel like...
Both in reality and in, like...
Yeah.
You know, your sleep.
Yeah.
Funny how that works that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I do want to take a minute to acknowledge that I know that dreams, like your dreams, are not interesting to anybody else besides you. You know what I mean?
It's
like
very true.
If
try to tell somebody your dreams, they don't.
No, they're not into it. Yeah. You know, they're kind of like, oh, okay. And like this is something that I didn't even realize because like I thought once I took a psychology class in like my sophomore year of high school, I was like, oh, dreams are fucking insane. Like, the Freudian experience of dreams and, like, the subconscious. It's like, what is going on there? And then after a while, you kind of, like I said, you start to figure out that it's... So, there's this theory that somebody tweeted, Lucas Stengel tweeted, actually, about...
Lucas Stengel.
Yeah, Lucas Stengel. He tweeted, he says, why people's dreams are exciting to them, but not to anybody else. A theory. In a dream world, a single consciousness is manifested into multiple beings. The dreamer is the only one involved with the primary agent in the thoughts and actions of the dream's characters. So, like, the narrative of the story. Now, because, one, everyone is the protagonist of their own story. Like, you're the main character. You kind of are... Like, you only have your own perspective, right? And your own experiences. And two, the present cognitive biases, which is just like your beliefs and opinions about everything else in the world. And then three, the characters holding varying physical bodies. These manifestation of the dreamer's consciousness seem very assorted and similar to their real-life counterparts. So, like, there's a lot of characters in your dreams, right? There's multiple beings there that are supposed to add into the story.
That'll represent...
Yeah, they'll represent other people in your life.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's just your manifestation of what you think they're thinking. You know what I mean? It's like you're projecting yourself onto them in a way.
Yeah, it's a pretty...
Yeah, so when it... Yeah, that's what he says. When, in fact, they are really unconscious or subconscious projections by the dreamer. If everyone's dreams are just lazy projections of their self onto others, it would make sense that every individual thinks a world composed entirely of themselves would create a captivating universe. You know, if it was your own universe where everything was how you thought it was, and you were sure of everything, you're like, dude, this is exciting, this is amazing. In reality, everyone else would find it simple and dull because it's not what is reality.
No, that's not at all how they view it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, exactly. It is just, it's like the most selfish way to view your world in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's
not really like selfish, but
I mean, it's just you oriented.
I guess.
Yeah, it's just you oriented. It's just based off of all your experience and everything. And like I said,
that makes sense. Why it wouldn't be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't think about that. I always thought my dreams were like so creative and crazy that everybody would want to hear.
I was coming on to something that no one would ever think of.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that, like he tweeted that, and that was kind of a realization for me. But then I also watched the show called Afterlife with Ricky Gervais on Netflix. It's a really good show, but it's very like, I don't know, it's a low key show. Like, it's just kind of an in betweener type of show, and just I don't know. But he talks about like there's this girl there that like is really fucking boring at his job, and he always calls her out on being. Why? Like, anytime she comes up to talk to them, he's like, why? Like, and just like calls out on her bullshit. Like, well, you don't need to talk about like one of her passions. He's like, what do you like to do? What are your passions? She's like, well, you know, I like Kevin Hart, and like his movies and his comedy. And he's like, oh, but what about his comedy movies? And she's like, yeah, especially those ones. But she comes up to like tell him about, he's like, you guys want to hear about the dream that I had the other night? He's like, no, nobody wants to hear about your dream. Everybody, your dreams are going to be boring because you're a boring person for sure. But they're also just, nobody cares about dreams in general at some point. It's kind of like what we were talking about.
It is heartbreaking shit.
It's heartbreaking. It's like what we were talking about before with philosophy. It's really cool to think about, but at some point, it's just time consuming. And it's just like something that you don't really need to put effort into thinking about.
Because no one else is going to care.
No one else is going to care. Exactly. I mean, you go about your daily life thinking about certain things, and that's only going to change slowly over time. It's not like you're going to bring up one interesting idea and your whole day-to-day consciousness is going to change.
No, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, at all. So, why it's important to me, like I said, it really can make or break a day. Like, if you have a shitty night's sleep, you're going to go the whole day being like, I can't wait till bed. I can't wait till the day is over and I get to lay down and have a good-ass night of sleep, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But, so the thing is, with dreams, like I said, we don't know why we do it, but we know that it's good for us because it's natural. The only thing that scientists can really figure out is that the rest of our mind, like, so your body and your immunity cells and all the white blood cells and everything, they kind of are able to regrow at a faster pace while you're asleep, while your brain, as opposed to thinking about all the visuals, like your aesthetics, like senses, like ears, eyes, smelling, taste, and everything. While that's kind of shut down, your brain is able to focus more on the internal, growth of cells and everything. And the reason we dream is because that's your body, that's what happens in your body, but your brain is consolidating memories. So the analogy they make is like a computer backing up data, basically. So it's like all the memories that were significant for you during the day are kind of getting solidified while you're asleep. Like, isn't that crazy? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where dreams come from, because it's almost like they're re-experiencing those at like random flashes and like random sparks in your brain.
And that makes sense why dreams seem so crazy, because you don't realize what memories you want to solidify.
Oh, yeah, true.
You don't choose what memories you want to solidify.
Yeah, it just kind of happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wonder
you don't choose what you want to remember.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if subconsciously, so like, there was a metaphor. Have you ever heard of the iceberg metaphor, where like your consciousness is only like 20%? It's like
yeah,
the
and then 80%
is like everything that you can't even understand what's going on with your brain. So I wonder if subconsciously, you know what you really want to solidify in your mind. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you were able to like unlock that 80%, you could be like, all right, these are things that I want to keep, and these are things that I want to just let go.
And you could just choose.
And you could just choose.
See, that sounds as crazy as lucid dreaming sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
Without having sleep paralysis.
Right.
Have you ever tried a lucid dream?
So, I was going to get into that.
Are you going to get in? Okay.
Eventually. I'm just kind of getting into the science of it at first, and then we'll get into the more abstract concepts of it. I just wanted to break it down into that. But, so we'll get into that. Like I said, I want to get into, first of all, the most common dreams. I only did the first two because there's so many. But what would you think the most common dream would be between most people that they would survey in an experiment?
The most common dream is in like
the theme, or like some people have dreams of like being naked in public. You know what I mean? Or a lot of people have dreams of losing all their teeth or something like that. You know?
It's either embarrassment. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay.
So what would you think?
Going
like,
back from embarrassment, it's either dread or desire.
Well, what's been your most common dream? Have you had a recurring
My most
dream?
common dream?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. They really haven't made sense. They're just wacky shit. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I'll have dreams about. One time I was on a ship in a dream.
Yeah.
During like a flood, and there were a bunch of Vikings, and everyone looked like Fortnite characters.
Everyone looked like Fortnite
and that was it. There was no message. There was no theme. Message. It had nothing to do with my life.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, I mean that's why.
Dude, that's like all my dreams.
Really?
It's just stupid shit that makes no sense.
That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, everybody dreams differently. They actually, there's not a lot of research into it, but they say some people have kind of looked into the genetic ability, or like the people in the same family have like similar types of dreams. So even so I was listening to like sleep paralysis, like parents that have sleep paralysis and like twins that have sleep paralysis. It might be because of a shared genetic like trait. Like personally for me, I don't think my dad's had a lot of sleep paralysis, and I have never experienced sleep paralysis, luckily. But like, that's a weird thought that like there's a genetic trait that like leads to certain type of dreams. You know what I mean?
Something that deep
within like your DNA causes you to have like a dream.
That's something very intangible. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. But the most common types of dream are, number one is being chased.
Oh man! Now that you bring it up, yeah, I used to, as a little kid, have a lot of dreams about that.
Really? As a little kid?
As a little kid, yeah. They were real scary, actually.
That's the other thing is most dreams, like if you take a survey of a certain amount of people, on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 being like a pretty good, like an alright dream, to 10 being like a great dream, most dreams, like more than 50% of dreams, are bad dreams. They're on the negative side. Yeah, people don't like them as much. Nightmares and sleep paralysis are really common, but that's not even, that's not even like, that's a nightmare. There's dreams that are just kind of bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's like, either you're kind of mad that you didn't get to see how it played out, or it was just a scenario that you kind of just wish didn't happen in your mind or something. And I just think that's an interesting thought, because I think that means the majority of people are pessimistic.
That's, yeah. Well, see, what's funny is that, like, the bad dreams I've had have been super fucked up. Like,
Really?
like that reoccurring dream I, like, used to have as a kid that I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That one was real bad. I'll get into that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that over 50% of my dreams have been dreams that I've, like, woken up from feeling good.
Really?
Like, even if they're just wacky.
Really?
I'm like, that was a
wacky
funny
dreams
little
are kind
dream.
of fun, you know?
Yeah, they're fun.
They're
I wake up and
I
wake up and I'm like, fuck it, dude. I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
Life is all right.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, that's.
What was
I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, the chasing dream. What were you saying?
Yeah, it was when I was like around 3 to 5, and I don't know why I still remember it, but I was like, I dreamt in my dream I was like a baby, and I would get sleep paralysis in these dreams. Like, I couldn't move or do anything, and I was a baby in the dream.
Yeah.
And I would just like start crying. I was on the first floor of my old house, and I would just like hear stomping down the steps coming from upstairs. Ooh. And it was just a big brute with like a big like club.
Yeah.
Looking like an ogre from Dark Souls. It was about to like, and it would just run toward me and like swing at me, and then I'd wake up. It was scary, yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was.
And that was like a reoccurring.
And I swear to God, I never got abused as a kid. I just want to put that out there. I never got abused. It was just a fucked up dream I used to have, and I have no idea why.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with a lot of these scary dreams is like some people are at like high points in their life and like don't really have anything to be worried about, and they'll just have some crazy shit going on in their head. You know what it is? Like, it's really, like you said, there's 80% of your brain is like stuff that you can't access or like below the surface of it. I don't know the exact percentage too. 80 is just a generalization, but like,
yeah, they say like, you can only use like under 10% of your brain or some like crazy shit like that.
Yeah. But so like, what is going on in that subconscious when you're feeling great, everything is good in your life, and you still have a crazy ass dream? I know this girl who's had. It was weird. I met her in my freshman year of college, but she's done like before college. In high school, she moved houses like 2 or 3 times, and then she moved into the dorms. And she said every time that she moved, like the first night that she moved in, she would have a dream of outside the place that she moved. So, for example, when she moved into the dorm, she would have the first night that she moved in, she had a dream that there was a guy out in the parking lot of the dorm that walked in through the door of the dorm, came up to her room with like a knife with like the intent to kill her. And just from that perspective. And that's happened at the first house that she moved in, the second house that she moved in, and like multiple times of just like a guy outside the house walking in like into her room and like going to kill her. Isn't that fucked up?
And has anything like in the real world happened similar to that? Like someone coming to her house and maybe trying to be an idiot. Like,
she said that she said that it never happened. Like it was never like a thing to her.
That's still one of the worst reoccurring dreams I can imagine. Yeah, something that's that realistic.
Yeah, dude, that would freak me the fuck. I'd be like, I'm never moving anywhere ever. I'm gonna stay here.
No.
Like, yeah, that is just crazy to me. So the thing with chasing dreams is usually unrecognized trauma. So things that you don't really know that happened to you. Like, say you got, like, beat up as a kid and you kind of blocked it out. But then later you're having dreams about, like, a bully chasing you or something. You know what I mean? Like, something like that. Or stress in general, like you're trying to run away from a problem that you have. And the thing that they say to do when you're having a lot of chasing dreams being chased and kind of stuff like that is to start to pay attention to those dreams in specific and like think about them during the day. So when you go back into it, don't think about the fact that you're being chased, right? Think about what is chasing you. Try to like turn the focus.
From.
Yeah, what you're,
yeah.
like in the dream.
Yeah, that makes
like,
sense.
Is it a monster? Is it like another person? Is it just like a feeling? You know what I mean? Like you have to like turn and kind of like focus on that a little bit, as opposed to being so focused on yourself being freaked out, you know?
Man, that actually, yeah, that reminds me. I did used to have dreams in high school.
Mm-hmm.
When I was playing football.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would always have dreams where I would show up to a game and I forgot my cleats or my helmet or my or like my shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes all three.
Yeah.
And I would have to bring it up to my coach.
Bro, you can't forget your pads, bro. Come on.
Yeah, forgetting your pads. And like we go to a game like 40 minutes away or something and then I do that and it's like hell, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess like, you know, I remember thinking like, damn, am I that afraid of fucking up? Like,
yeah, I mean honestly, that's what like talking about like subconsciously is like there's probably not a lot of meaning to dreams, but you can put a lot of meaning to dreams.
You
know
can,
what I mean?
yeah. That's yeah.
Am I that afraid of just like disappointing somebody or like, you know, not fulfilling my own expectations or whatever it is? Like, you know, the fact that you have so many like that being chased is the number one dream, most common dream above all of them is like that's fucked up because a lot of people have that fear of, you know, setting an expectation and trying to meet it. And
that's life, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're an adult, honestly.
Just setting an expectation for where you're going to go, what you're going to do, and then getting fucked up and not being able to do it. It's just scary.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. So the second most common is falling. Just falling in general. Like...
What, like the feeling of falling when you're falling asleep? Or like literally falling in your dream?
That's the interesting thing is that, so it's the most common dream is like in the dream you are falling. Like you get like you're on a cliff and you fall off. Like it's either the build up to the fall or falling, it's like a slow fall, you know, or just like you're kind of suspended in midair. And you're just falling backwards, and you don't know like where you're falling or where you are, but you're just falling. It's kind of like the scene in Get Out where he's like in between.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. A lot of people have dreams like that, which is crazy because maybe it is like a representation of like you realizing that you're in your subconscious and not being able to get out because you're asleep. Yeah, which is crazy, but it's the same thing. My dad actually used to have dreams of falling all the time. And I remember I was going to bed one night, and I hear from the other room, help, 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 help. And he's just like, and my mom's like, Chip, you're in bed, you're fine. He's like, oh. He's just like falling. He's just like freaking out. Yeah. And I mean,
God, Chip.
Yeah. And he would actually fall out of bed sometimes. Like he would roll off of his side of the bed, and like, I mean, the ground isn't that far, luckily, when you're in a bed. You don't have that far to fall, but it's just like you put that on yourself and you almost physically harm yourself just because of a thing that we don't even really understand, like like a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is related. So during that time, that's when he bought his own business and like was kind of trying to figure out his footing with it and trying to figure shit out.
And he was at a constant risk of.
Yeah, of you know, losing or failing, and so like when that's going on in your mind, like when you're trying to sleep. You've got all these, like, during the day you have all those things to stress about, and then when they're, like, solidifying in your mind, the flashes of like, falling and just kind of, like, failure, or just, like, fuck.
That's all you're getting.
Yeah, it's messed up. But also, this dream is, other people kind of think about it as, not only, for some people, it's not falling because of, like, failure, but, like, falling in love. It is very common, like.
But you're still having dreams of falling?
Yeah, you're falling, and I think that's more of like the slow type of falling type of thing, where they're like, "What is happening?" It's less of a fear and more of like a, "Why am I falling? Where am I falling from? Where am I falling to?" kind of thing. You know, it's just like a movement type of situation. You know, falling from grace is another thing. Like, another one of the third most common dream is flying. which can lead to falling. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever had a flying dream before.
If you're feeling ambitious.
If you're feeling ambitious, that's where it comes from. You like shoot off of the ground and you kind of like, some people, like my dad was just telling me how it takes him, he's like running at first and then he starts to kind of lift off the ground and kind of get into it, and then it kind of turns into like, he swims a lot, so it kind of turns into him to like a swimming kind of thing, and then eventually it just becomes like you're not even thinking about it and you're just flying around, right? Whereas for some people, for me, I've had a dream where I just kind of took off and it just was like flying around and floating all over the place and like spinning around and shit. That's the third most common dream.
That's badass.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's really cool, but that's where, again, it can lead directly into a falling dream. Because you're up in the air, and at some point, a reason behind what some scientists say is like, a flying dream is almost like it can be a good thing because you're ambitious, like you said, and it could lead to, you're excited about where you're going. But it can also be like a cautious thing, like an Icarus and like a Daedalus, like flying too close to the sun, and then falling, you know, and like it's like a warning.
You gotta fall eventually.
Yeah, you gotta fall eventually. So it's crazy that. I mean, even for me, that I just feel like people having all the same dreams about the same stressors, it kind of, you know, makes you feel good because you're not the only one that's freaking out about life in general, I guess. But you're not the only one who's excited about life even, and flying and whatnot.
Yeah, that is cool how like people have common tropes with dreams. People have dreams in common.
Yeah.
It makes you feel less lonely and you're a little fucked up subconscious.
A little sense of community there. You ever see that meme of like, have you seen this man in your dreams before?
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that and it terrified me.
At first,
thick eyebrows, man.
Oh, the thick eyebrows. He looks just
he looks so weird.
Yeah, like
and that receding hairline.
The receding hairline. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why do we have to paint bald people as bad guys? You know what I mean?
That guy reinforces bald stereotypes. 100%.
Oh, exactly. I mentioned it in the podcast with Lucas, but I'm going to say it again. Do you remember? Have you seen the SpongeBob movie?
Yeah, of course.
Where King Neptune comes in and he like...
Oh, man, and he takes off his crown.
Bald!
And he's
bald! He's like, thinning! There's like eyes being burned out of their skulls. Thinning! And he's just like, they're just training kids to hate bald people at that point. Come on.
I didn't even notice that.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even realize how much I hated bald people. Because, yeah.
And if you watch a lot of movies, let's see, Sherlock Holmes, which is just right off the top of my head, the bad guy, bald guy. It's like...
the bald guy, dude.
It's the bald guy.
The only, I guess, good bald guy is Professor X, and he's kind of good. He's kind of good. Just because he leads the good guys, but he's also kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, he's such a douchebag.
Yeah. So, like, the bald guy
so it's like...
and he's handicapped, right.
Gets kind of, like, canceled out with the handicap.
True. So then he's, like, kind of good.
So he's kind of good.
But also, like, you know, you're bald, so you gotta be handicapped.
Voldemort, dude? Voldemort's bald.
Yeah, that's true. Voldemort. We could go on. Dr. Evil, obviously.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah, he's typical like, bald guy.
And that's the thing. He's supposed to be like the fact that Dr. Evil in the Austin Powers movies, like all of the Austin Powers movies are supposed to be just like make fun of, like very satirical and make fun of like common tropes in movies. And that's what I'm saying. Dr. Evil is a bald ass. He's a bald ass.
That's true, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's just fucked up. And so I'm gonna go bald at some point, and I am not about to be an evil person.
Oh, are you seriously gonna go bald?
Yeah, I mean, look at my dad. Come on. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's gonna happen eventually, but I don't know. I'm just trying not to think about it.
We don't gotta talk about it.
I have dreams.
I hope you have dreams of having a full head of hair for the rest of your life. Having a mullet.
Yeah, if I go bald, at least I'll have dreams of having hair. I think that'll be nice. My dad says he gets phantom hair syndrome, like phantom lizard. Yeah, he'll
like phantom pain, like
yeah.
Oh god, dude.
Or he'll like go to like brush his hair back and be like, oh, it's just gone.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, but so flying is one of the, so that's what I was gonna lead into is like, I had a flying dream only once. And it was a lucid dream, is the thing. So I was trying around my junior year of high school, like really hard. That's when I did the dream journal before when I first got interested. And then once I started getting really into the dreams, is like kind of trying to do lucid dreaming. Because being able to control your own dreams just sounds cool.
Yeah, that sounds like something, like a cheat code in life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like entertainment, but in your sleep. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you just get to control it's almost another aspect of control in your life. You're like, okay, I can.
I get to be a god in my own mind.
Yeah, if you have a shitty day, at least tonight,
whatever. Yeah,
you can build a city in your mind.
There you go.
Or go flying, or go for a swim, or whatever you want to do. Yeah, so I tried. So what really led me into lucid dreaming is really actually if you aren't like if you haven't done it naturally, and you don't do it regularly, it's hard to get into. As you have to be very conscious of lucid dreaming. You know what I mean?
See, there's like a weird balance there that I cannot figure out.
What do you mean?
Because when you lucid dream, or when you're trying to lucid dream, you have to like be still but also be conscious.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, that just leads into sleep paralysis.
Into sleep paralysis, yeah.
And that's what I always fall into. But sometimes I think maybe I'm falling into actual lucid dreaming, and I'm just too scared to do it, so I always shake myself awake.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, yeah.
Because I'm like too scared to do it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, sleep paralysis is an entire different concept than sleep. I mean, lucid dreaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I just don't understand it enough, but...
Well, no, the thing is, more people have sleep paralysis. I think it's 40% of people have experienced sleep paralysis, which is less than half, but that's still 40%.
That's a lot of people, yeah.
That's 40% of people. And I think lucid dreaming is experienced on a lesser level than that even. So, sleep paralysis actually has a really, really rich culture. Like, I mean, it's got a deep history. You know, like it was recorded back in like ancient Chinese writings and like about sleep, and it's gone through like ancient Greece and so on. And
they would always believe it was like the workings of demons, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because it seems so paranormal. Because sleep paralysis, you feel like you're awake. You know what I mean? And you just can't move, or there's just something so terrifying going on in the world around you that you don't want to leave your bed, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, and so many people, I'd say almost everyone that has experienced sleep paralysis sees like that shadow figure
in the corner. Yeah,
in the corner, or like right at the foot of your bed. That's where I would see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like the embodiment of it. You know, that's just, it looks like a demon. It
and that's what
like
I'm saying. It's like you can't
why...
move. And a lot of the time you do notice that, but a lot of the time it's not like you're really trying to move because you're just so petrified in terror. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just like, what do I do? Should I get up? Should I just stay here? You're just kind of like, that thing's fucking scary. You're lucky that it just stands at the bottom of your bed. For a lot of people, it like sits on their chest.
I know, man. I've heard about that.
Yeah, can you imagine? Just like, there's actually a painting. I think it was, I don't know when it was. It was definitely whenever paintings were relevant. Like,
was it like a Renaissance look? It was a Renaissance looking painting.
Ass,
it's a demon standing on the lady's chest.
On the lady's chest, yeah, exactly.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Scares the shit out of me.
And, because it's a really good representation of sleep paralysis.
Just like a shadow-looking demon, you know, a little imp-looking fella.
A little fella.
Yeah.
He's probably a cool guy, you know. He's
probably.
Just
you
chilling
just
on
got to
your chest.
know him, but he's just on your chest, you know.
He's just on your chest.
Violating your rights.
Yeah, he doesn't know, like, he probably doesn't have, like, feelings on his own, so he doesn't know that he's weighing down on you. He just wants to get close with you, is really what it is.
That's how we gotta see it at the end of the day.
The end of the day. But it actually leads into, like, the Salem witch trials. Like, there was a dude who, like, had a preconceived notion of a girl being a witch, because that's, like, all the witches shit was going down, and they were, like, thinking about it all the time. And he, like, had a preconceived notion of this girl being a witch, and then at night he went into sleep paralysis, and he like saw her climb in through his window, come in, and just like look at him and like sit or sleep on his chest or something. And he just freaked the fuck out, and you know, you don't hear the rest of the story, but she probably fucking died.
She got killed, yeah.
She got killed because he was like, dude, she came into my room and looked at me and put a spell on me or whatever.
That's all it took.
Yeah, which is really, I mean, luckily I don't think I've experienced sleep paralysis. Like I said, it's never been. You've like never seen thing for me.
Have you lucid dreamed?
That's what I was. Yeah. So
yeah, you said when you had the flying dream, it was a lucid dream.
Yeah. So the flying dream was a lucid dream. I wanted to get into that, but then we kind of went off into sleep paralysis.
Right. Because that's the only thing like I've experienced.
Yeah. Which sucks, man. It really does. Like, it's unfortunate that, like, it's really sleep paralysis. Like, you're in a sacred place. You're in your bed. You're in your own home, in your own bed.
You're in the safest place possible.
In the safest place that you think. You know, I mean, your bed covers when you're a kid can protect you from anything. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, anything scary, you just get under them. You can't see anything else. What actually used to freak me out when I was a kid is, like, that was, like, a safe thing for me. And then I got into this weird phase where I watched a bunch of scary movies in, like, 5th grade, which is the worst time to watch scary movies.
5th grade?
Yeah, it wasn't even my decision. I hung out with an older kid who was getting into scary movies, and we just did that as, like, a fun thing to do. And he was older, so I always wanted to hang out with him.
Oh, anyways, badass watching scary movies.
Yeah, dude, fucking our favorite was what's the Final Destination?
Oh my god, fuck those movies.
That's what I'm saying, dude. As a kid,
which one was it? The first one?
We watched all of them. We watched
my god,
all of them because we were so like That's what I'm saying. I would go over there all the time, and we would watch a scary movie. And it was fucked. It fucked with my mind. So like, I'm laying in bed, right? Kind of like all these thoughts going through my mind, and you're like, okay, well the only safe place is my bed, and at least I can cover my like head with my sheets or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, what if you cover your head, you go under cover and you cover your head with the sheets, and then you open your eyes, and there's just a head laying next to you, looking face to face into your own eyes while you're laying in bed. Oh, dude. I got so freaked out. My greatest fear, like, you know how a lot of people have phobias?
Yeah.
I'm not scared of snakes that much. Spiders I can handle. Bugs and whatnot. Sinkholes is for some people is a big thing. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, and my room was always at the top of the stairs, so looking out to an open door, and there's just a figure standing on the top of the stairs. Like, you can't leave. There's nowhere to go.
Oh
They're
my god,
blocking
man.
the exit.
That reminds me of the scariest dream I think I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. What was it?
Okay, I'll say the dream first,
Mm-hmm.
and then... Okay, I'll just say the dream first. So, I was at my grandma's house, and it was like an old house. Okay. Yeah. This is like a, 1920s house?
It's got some character.
Pretty big place, though.
Yeah.
You know, where it's got stairs going up to the second story that you can see from the living room. Yeah, it's overlooking. That makes sense.
It's the older type of architecture. Big open windows and everything, and like kind of... Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, I
had a dream that I saw some, like, dude with a dog mask.
Oh.
Like, looking at me from the stairs.
Oh, and down below the stairs?
And I was in the living room, and it was just like, there was like a blue filter on everything, and it was terrifying.
Oh, yeah. Just looking at this thing.
And then I watched The Shining, like, for the first time a few years ago.
Yeah, oh.
And I saw the scene where, like, Shelley Duvall's running upstairs, and she looks in a room, and there's a dude with a dog mask, like, giving head to some dude. Or he, like, gets up from it. You don't see him giving head, but, like, he gets up from it, and he's wearing a dog mask. And it just, like, zooms in his face, just like it did in that dream. And I'm like, oh, shit, maybe I saw that scene when I was a kid. Yeah. And that's what gave me that dream.
Maybe, yeah.
But it was that same, like, presence, you know, that you were talking about.
Yeah, it was just the feeling of, like...
Of someone...
being there. It's like an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, that's
exactly. It's an invasion and, like, a threat of danger. You know what I mean? Like they're going to attack you or kill you.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar experience with a movie. I honestly think it was like Parent Trap or something like that, like a Lindsay Lohan as a kid type of movie, or maybe like Beethoven or something. I don't know, but there's like a scene where this woman comes out with she comes out in like white robe and like a white towel over her head, and her face has like a face mask on, and it's like a white face mask, and just like walking down the stairs, and the kid gets like really freaked out about it. I'm pretty sure it's Parent Trap or something like that. But like I had a dream about it, dude, and like that woman just freaked me the fuck out. Like the idea of her like walking.
Her just having a face mask on and like.
Yeah, dude, I don't even know, dude. It was
just some mom.
I mean, I don't know what it was in the movie. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember exactly the scene, but like having a dream about it, like you said, it's like a mysterious figure.
Yeah.
It could have been like a ghost, you know, like it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Like the white face wasn't a face mask necessarily. It might have been that in the movie. But in my dream, it was just like a white face.
It just completely transformed to that.
Like a ghost type of thing. And like you said, like it's the two things, like the sense of invasion and then the threat behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that
really
ambiguity.
Like, just like freaked me the fuck out. I don't know.
I know, man. It's the weird shit that scares you when you're a kid, especially.
Oh yeah, and it's weird because that can turn into like over time, it's like something irrational that scared you as a kid can turn into like a completely rational fear through your experiences just because you've always had that preconceived notion of something in the back of your mind, and it just grows through time with you. You know?
Yeah, it's weird how that evolves.
Yeah, it's just really fucking crazy. But anyways, on a lighter topic, back to lucid dreaming.
Sorry, man. I just find like the fucking
paralysis.
Weird, scary dreams so interesting.
They are
I
really
can't stop
interesting.
bringing them up, but like, I'm not trying to bring the top.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the tone of this
like
real dark.
Yeah, the thing about nightmares and scary, like I said, more than 50% of dreams are bad dreams, and the only thing you can really do about it is try to journal your dreams.
Because those are the ones you really want to figure out.
Right, exactly. Figure out what the meaning is and like what the stressor is.
Yeah.
And then kind of like figure that out in your real life, you know? Also, lucid dreaming is another solution for scary dreams. Because if you realize that you're dreaming, it's like, oh, that's not a fear anymore. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not scared of that. I don't have to be scared of that.
Oh, I'd love to learn how to.
It's because I'm in a dream. Well, so it took me. That's what I'm saying. If you're not used to doing it, it's really hard to get into lucid dreaming until you get like a routine down that helps you do it. A lot of it is dream journaling. That's the main thing. Being conscious of your dreams in the first place. Thinking about dreams. Talking about dreams. Writing your dreams down in the morning.
Okay.
And remembering them will help you lucid dream because you're just more conscious about dreams.
Just gotta be more proactive about them.
Yeah, another thing is like reality checks, where it's like in the middle of the day, you have to like look at your hand back and front, and be like, okay, like this is where I am, you know, this is my dream. Or like for some people, it's like looking at a clock. It's like, oh, okay, because time moves different in your dreams, right? So if you look at a clock and it looks like it stopped or something, then it's like, this could be a dream. You know what I mean? Like, it's just reality checks. Does my hand look the same? Am I real? Like, can I feel this? It's almost like pinching in a way, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just a reality test. So if you start doing that more in your day-to-day life, then in your dreams, you'll start doing it and be like, oh, this isn't a dream. You know, you'll look at your hand and you can't look at your hand, or it's a different hand, or it just looks weird. You know what I mean?
But you looking at that and seeing like that your hand is just
your hand, because you're gonna recognize your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna recognize that. In a dream, you might not. Is the thing.
Are you saying? But like, are you saying this is a way to be able to trigger lucid dreams?
To trigger lucid dreaming, yeah. Because if you look at your hand and you realize that it's not what you would see in reality, then you're like, okay, I'm in a dream right now, you know?
Gotcha.
Like I said, the clock is like a weird concept of a clock, you know? It's not moving, or it's moving at a extremely fast pace or weird pace. Then you're like, all right, time isn't moving. This is not a real place. This isn't real. And so that's what it is, the reality test is. And then once you realize that you're in a dream, you're like, all right, I'm in a dream. I can control this. I can do what I want. You know, I can move stuff around. I can change the atmosphere.
And that doesn't, you don't just wake up though.
No, I mean, maybe for some people, but yeah, or the dream just ends, which it would be unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is like, it's not always that easy to just kind of slip into a lucid dream. But
I feel like part of it is because I want to do it so bad. That's why I can't do it. You know?
Yeah, just
like I get so
want
excited,
so
you
bad.
know?
Yeah.
Like I want to so bad, man. It sounds so fun.
Yeah, and like I said, I've only done it twice ever, and I went through a phase where I tried really hard to do it and wanted to do it all the time. And so the first time I did it was the time that I flew, and one of the things that you can do is eat certain foods before bed and like do certain things. I chugged, it's like one of the small things of apple juice. Apple juice has a certain chemical in it. I don't know what it is. It has some sort of nutrient that triggers some serotonin or fucking like melatonin or something in your mind, and it helps you lucid dream. That's what a lot of people recommend, and that's what it did for me. And so what happened when I did it, I drank a bunch of apple juice before bed, and then when I went to bed, it was weird because like it wasn't like I was in a dream and then I like things happened in the dream and then I realized I was dreaming, and like I said, it wasn't a reality check or anything. I didn't make it through a dream and then change the dream. It was like I was just asleep and then I was instantly it was like almost like a sleep paralysis type thing, but my consciousness woke up, right? And I was like, oh, I'm dreaming right now. And then like it was like, it was almost like, you know, when you're dreaming, you don't picture yourself as the main character. You know it's you that's going through a dream, right?
Yeah.
But you don't like have an image of yourself. Because it's like real life. You
just see first person. Right.
Right, you see first person and you've never like looked at yourself. But like, it was weird, so I started the dream, and it was just right off the bat I was lucid dreaming. There was no atmosphere around me. There was nothing, there wasn't anything already going on. So what it was almost like a GoPro vision of myself, of my face. And I was like, oh, I'm dreaming.
You're viewing a GoPro
of my own face. Yeah, of my own subconscious, which is weird. Because like I said, it's like
that makes sense, yeah. That's what I'd imagine it to look like.
Right. Yeah, and then so immediately, there was still no atmosphere. I'm like, all right, I'm lucid dreaming right now. I want to fly. That's what most people do when they lucid dream. They're like, well, I want to fly around because flying is fucking insane. That's an awesome thing to do. So I just like shot off and started like flipping around and like flying around and doing a bunch of cool stuff. And then it was like awesome. You could feel like the wind. You could feel like breathing. You can feel like the clouds that you're kind of passing through and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and like twirling. You feel like how you move through the air.
You make me more excited to do this.
I know you should. I mean, that's what I kind of want to push people
really
to do.
It, but
I mean, I feel like keeping a dream journal in general is just kind of beneficial to your sanity. I don't know what it is, but it definitely just kind of helps. I mean, even thinking in the morning as opposed to you waking up and being like, shit, I got to do this and this today, and like today's going to suck because of this, or like, you know, I had a shitty night of sleep, or just kind of having a bad thought. You kind of wake up and you're like, oh, that dream was kind of crazy, and you just write down that dream and you think about dreams for the first whatever it is.
If you got a mundane schedule,
right?
Breaks up the more interesting into your life.
It makes it, yeah. You just take like 5 to 10 minutes to just write down something that like happened in your mind that you didn't even control. You know what I mean? It was just something that you kind of watched that nobody else got to experience ever. You know. So I think that's pretty cool. So I was like flipping around, flying around in the air, and then it was like, all right, well, I wanna see what it's like to go underwater. I wanna fly underwater. So I felt myself like shift down and start flying downwards, and I passed like into a body of water, and I felt like the coolness. I felt like the coolness of everything, and it was still from like a GoPro perspective because I didn't create a world at all. I just created the feeling of flying and going underwater. I was able to breathe and stuff, and then, I mean, I think I woke up after that, but like just those two events in general were like fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah, I can't even imagine what that feel like.
Yeah, what's crazy is, like I said, it can help nightmares in therapeutic ways, but it's also like creative. It's like a creative activity. It's kind of fun. You know what I mean?
That wasn't a baked dream, was it?
A what?
A baked dream?
Baked dream? No, actually, that's the interesting thing. Like I said, like, I was sober enough. I obviously didn't smoke that night, but, like, it was probably a school night, and I had purposely gone out of the way to get apple juice. And, like, I remember drinking the apple juice. And like,
that's all, that was the only substance.
Like, yeah, I mean, I had regular dinner. I don't remember what was for dinner, but that's what I'm saying. I read that apple juice, like, induces lucid dreaming and stuff. That
did it, huh?
Yeah, that did it enough, I guess.
Remember that.
Yeah, so, I mean, definitely try it out. The interesting about lucid dreaming is a lot of people kind of sense it, like, so Edgar Allan Poe has a quote that says, all that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. So it's like lucid dreaming. If you're conscious within a dream, it kind of makes you question right now, are we just like consciously, like unconsciously dreaming? Are we in a dream? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And there's a big like philosophical debate is like, you could wake up at any second and be like, all right, all of that was a dream. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's kind of that's a little bit more meta than I was hoping to get into, but I wanted to mention it. You know what I mean?
Just and I'm bringing up a Poe quote.
A Poe quote, yeah, for sure. Like, and that's the thing. Like, if it is just a dream, like in your dreams, like what is the moral code there? Like, what are your ethics within a dream? Like, if you kill somebody in a dream, is that a sin?
Right. Would you do that in real life? And does that like...
Right. I mean, does that reflect something
that
you would do? And if we are in a dream right now, do the things that you do even matter? Like, could you commit like a sin or something? Like, and not have to worry about it because you might wake up in the future?
Yeah, man. Why not just try it?
Why not just try anarchy?
Yeah,
Let's go for killing people. I'm with it. Let's
Absolutely.
do it. Yeah. I mean, but that was just something that I found interesting is like the moral code of your dreams. You know what I mean? Like I said, like...
Yeah, that is looking real deep into it.
Like, yeah, like even if it's not killing somebody, but it's just like, did you lie in your dream? Did you hurt somebody in some way?
Does that reflect your actual intentions in real life?
Yeah, and I don't think it does. I think it's like a hyperbole of some sort, or like I said, it's just like random sparks in your brain that kind of happen that mix things together.
And it's so funny, like how hard it is to understand your subconscious.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's so much.
Like, it's my brain, but I don't know what is going on up there.
What the hell is going on?
What I'm really thinking.
Yeah. But the other lucid dream that I had was fun. It was actually really fun because it happened my sophomore year of college. And I guess I realized I was dreaming, and I was like, well, if I'm in a dream, I'm going to try some hard drugs because I can't try hard drugs in real life.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, well, let's do some heroin. Let's right off the bat. That's the worst one I can think of. And in my dream, I again, it was almost like a GoPro type of thing. Like there wasn't like a setting to it or like a background or context or anything that kind of went into the story of how I got into the situation of heroin. But I just like, dude, I was like, all right, I want to feel what heroin's like. And I didn't even have to go through the injection process. It was like, all right, the heroin was in my veins. And like,
you didn't even like go through.
Yeah, I mean, I think like maybe the action of like putting I feel like that was part of it, but I didn't feel the pain of the thing in my arm.
Yeah.
But like the action of putting something into my arm. And then I just like immediately felt like, dude, it was like the act, it's like, I don't know what heroin feels like, but the preconceived notion of what heroin is like the best thing in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it has to be. That's why it's so addictive. It has to feel really, really fucking good. So like in my dream, I did it, and like even the dream felt good. You know what I mean? Like it was just like my whole body was filled like from head to toe with like ecstasy. You know what I mean? Like it just was like all of my nerve receptors were like tingling in like a happy way. It's just weird. It was weird. And then in the same dream, so I like so I think that was like part of the lucid dream. And then I went almost into another dream where I remembered that happening. And I was like, it felt good. Like, I'm not, like, addicted to it, but, like...
Addicted to dream heroin.
Yeah, addicted to a dream heroin. But it was fun. I might do it again. That's what they all say. That's what all... Like, yeah, it's not that addicting, right?
But I might do it again.
But it felt really good, yeah.
But I kind of really like it and I want to do it.
Yeah. Which is really the only reason... to lucid dream in the end. It is what it comes down to. The only reason to lucid dream is so you can try heroin. Yeah.
It's the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
God, dude, that reminds me. This keeps reminding me of old dreams, man. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
But I used to have I think I've had 4 dreams where I would do acid.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm terrified of acid.
Yeah, it's a scary drug, man. It fucks with you, especially. I mean, for people who have eanxiety or depression or anything,
Yeah, I get anxious as fuck,
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have the thought of doing acid is just fuck. That's crazy.
It is, and that carried on in my dreams, and I used to have dreams of doing acid, and I remember, like, I remember them vividly. Fuck, I might have wrote them down, but I don't remember exactly what happened in them.
Just doing acid.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
The anxiety of doing acid in a dream, though, you know what I mean? And I feel like, again, it's when you're doing a drug in a dream, it's just what you think the drug would be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like we were talking about with the theory before, whereas, like, other people, like, you kind of project yourself onto other people and other characters. It's like you kind of are projecting yourself into, like, what the drug, your preconceived notion.
Despite you having no experience of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have no experience of what other people really perceive of you.
Right, but, like...
Of themselves on you.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Yeah, it's like what you've heard about the drug and how you've heard stories of people on the drug.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in your mind, you're just like... It's just... That's what I'm saying. Like, that dream, I really liked that lucid dream. Because...
Really?
Yeah, because, dude, I was like, that was one of the greatest feelings that, I mean, like, I experienced in a dream. You know, most dreams are bad. To have a good, not only a good dream, but a dream where you do heroin, you don't have to have any of the addictive, like, tendencies to it.
And you just kind of did a drug.
Yeah, you kind of did a drug. For free.
No repercussions. Despite not actually feeling the effects.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like, despite me being extremely anxious about acid, and despite the fact that I would probably have a horrible time on it, like, all my dreams I've had on it, I remember being good.
Really?
You know, I was at, like, house parties and stuff. They're always at, like, UC house parties.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all I really remember.
Yeah, you're just experiencing reality in a different way.
Yeah, that was all it was, and it was stupid. Like, I got nothing out of it, but it was just like, I woke up being like, what the fuck? What did that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, what does acid in a dream mean? What does heroin in a dream mean, dude?
Exactly.
It never really means anything. And that's why I had a guy on here, Mikey, on the first time Mikey was on. He was like, if I could just say anything on record, I just want to say, fuck Freud. Fuck Sigmund Freud. That dude was a creep.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Actually, not that hot. He was pretty creepy.
He was a creep. No, apparently he watched his, or like listened to his daughter like masturbating or something.
God damn.
Yeah, and like, I mean, all of his theories.
I'm not even that surprised. His theories were fucked.
That's all. Yeah, all of his theories are like sex related, and like it does kind of make sense at some point on the deepest level. But, like, there is no other scientific proof behind the Freudian theories. Like, I don't know why his name, like, why he is such a big name in history.
I know, man. 90% of what he's known as is, like, you know, this guy's got some good theories, but he's also a crazy motherfucker. And most of the stuff he comes up with is just crazy shit.
Cocaine, he was addicted to cocaine. It's just cocaine-induced ideas of dreams is basically what it is. You know?
Basically, man. That guy was just like, he should be an icon of psychosis before like an icon of psychiatrist.
Psychologist. Dream psychology, yeah, for sure. Yeah, fuck that guy. They recently released a show called Freud, and it's about Sigmund Freud. And I thought it was like, okay, this could be pretty interesting if they're doing like tests on dreams and stuff. But then they just made it into like about Freud's life and like his business of like doing the dream psychology thing where there's no proof behind it, which is like kind of a cool concept, but they made it into like a dramatic thing where there's like a soap opera type of thing, like what they do with a lot of Marvel movies and like shows on the CW.
It's not really what you'd want to hear about Freud.
Yeah.
It's more so... Like,
yeah, I mean, like, a lot of... So, I mean, you watch, like... There's this show called Arrow on the CW. Yeah. And it's, like, a superhero that kills people because they do bad things with money or something like that. But it's really about his relationship with, like, his family business. And, Yeah, and, like, his sister and his mother and, like, the family. It's like, I don't care. I'm here for the idea of, like, a cool superhero or...
Yeah, that sounds like a shitty way to handle.
Yeah, or the dream, like, the dream psychology. I'm interested in that. It's like, I'm not going to watch this show because I want to watch a dude who's addicted to cocaine, either win or lose his life or his idea of where he wants to go in the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. It's just all dumb to me.
Sounds like a waste.
Yeah, media should be better, is where I'm going with this. And you can control the media of your mind in dreams, if you want to.
100%. That show could be good in your dreams.
Oh my god.
Right now it's shit, and that's a take from Steve McJones 2020.
Anyways, Danny, I want to appreciate you coming out and listening to me ramble about this for a while.
Hey man, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's just because I knew you'd find it interesting, I think, and have some pretty fun ideas to throw in every once in a while. And you did. You came through.
It's a fun topic.
Yeah. And, yeah, man. Thanks again. It's kind of fun.
Alright, man. Later.
Thanks for making it. Did you make it to the end? Are you here? Are you with me right now? If you are, you're a dreamer, and I believe in you. I want to apologize about all the beer bottles shuffling around. Probably should have prefaced it with that. But, you know, you're going to listen for the content, and then you deal with the things that go on in the background. That's how my podcasts work, you know? I actually am kind of sorry about that. I'll make sure to, you know, I'm still kind of figuring out how to record in new places and a new environment and moving around and whatnot. So I will be more conscious about that going forward from here. But I still, again, it's not Jake Denning's fault. Don't blame him. Although, if you see him, mention it just to so it's on his mind. Anyways, thanks Jake Denning, and thank me for you know, putting this shit together, doing this job for you, for your listeners. Also, thank you. I love you. Amen. Okay, bye.